affluent neighborhood where homes are separated by acres of land. That's where Hackman and his wife chose to live, decidedly secluded.
Suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough search and investigation. When two Santa Fe County Patrol deputies arrived at the scene, they walked to the front of the residence.
Detectives say, judging by the conditions of their bodies, it appears they had been dead for some time. They were found in different rooms. Hackman was found near the kitchen, while his wife, Betsy, a classical pianist, was found in a bathroom. Their dog was also found dead.
Gene Hackman lived a quiet life, but everything changed when his close friends Daniel and Barbara Lenihan were arrested. Why were they caught in a shocking financial crime? What did Hackman's wife mean when she sent the chilling message, "I think something is wrong"? Was this just about money, or was something even darker at play? For years, Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa, enjoyed a calm and private life in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Unlike other celebrities, Hackman never craved attention. After retiring from acting, he focused on painting, writing novels, and spending time at home. Daniel and Barbara Lenihan were more than just casual acquaintances. They were part of Gene Hackman's inner circle. Daniel, a respected marine archaeologist, had even co-authored a book with Hackman. They had spent years researching and writing together, forming a deep friendship. So when news broke that Daniel and Barbara had been arrested, people were shocked. How could two of Hackman's closest friends be involved in something so serious? One evening, an emergency call was made from Gene Hackman's house. The details were unclear, but when police arrived, they found disturbing signs. Papers were scattered across the floor, furniture was out of place, and something didn't feel right. Officers spoke to Hackman and his wife. While no one was physically harmed, there was clear tension in the air. The situation was strange, one officer later said. It wasn't just a normal break-in or robbery. There was something deeper going on. After questioning everyone involved, the investigation took an unexpected turn. Daniel and Barbara Lenihan became the main suspects in a financial crime that involved Gene Hackman. Investigators discovered unusual activity in Hackman's bank records. Over several months, large sums of money had been transferred to accounts linked to Daniel Lenihan. At first, it seemed like personal loans or gifts, but as authorities dug deeper, they found inconsistencies. Betsy Arakawa, Hackman's wife, had reportedly been worried about their finances. A close friend revealed Betsy noticed something was off. She saw money disappearing, but Gene wouldn't listen. He trusted Daniel completely. When asked about the transactions, Daniel claimed, "Gene gave me that money willingly. There was no pressure, no manipulation." But police weren't convinced. Barbara also defended her husband. "We have been friends with Gene for decades. Why would we hurt him?" she said. However, the evidence suggested otherwise. As investigators tried to piece together the truth, another troubling detail surfaced: Gene Hackman's mental state. Some close friends noticed he had been acting differently. He wasn't as sharp as before, a longtime friend admitted. Sometimes he would forget things we just talked about. Even Daniel and Barbara pointed this out. Gene wasn't himself, Daniel told police. He was confused sometimes, and we were just trying to help him. A doctor familiar with the case said, "Memory loss and confusion can make elderly individuals vulnerable to financial exploitation. It's possible Hackman was taken advantage of without realizing it." Betsy, meanwhile, was struggling to protect her husband. She was trying to manage everything alone, a neighbor said. She saw the changes in Gene and was doing her best, but it wasn't easy. The biggest question remained: did Hackman willingly give his money to Daniel, or was he manipulated? Police reports suggested that Betsy had tried to intervene multiple times. A source close to the couple revealed Betsy was worried. She tried to limit contact with Daniel and Barbara, but Gene was stubborn. He thought they were just being good friends. But when investigators found more financial irregularities, they had enough evidence to make an arrest. Daniel and Barbara were taken into custody, leaving Hackman and his wife in shock. The morning sun had barely risen over the New Mexico mountains when the peaceful neighborhood of Santa Fe was jolted awake by flashing police lights. A convoy of police cars suddenly stopped in front of Daniel and Barbara Lenihan's house. The Lenihans, a seemingly quiet and respectable couple, had no idea that this day would change their lives forever. Daniel, still groggy from sleep, opened the door, confused by the sudden commotion. Before he could say a word, an officer spoke in a firm voice. "Daniel and Barbara Lenihan, you are under arrest." Barbara, just stepping out of the bedroom, let out a terrified scream as officers moved swiftly, handcuffing them both. Their neighbors, drawn outside by the sirens and flashing lights, watched in disbelief. "They're such good people," one whispered. "What could they have done?" But what the police had uncovered over the past few weeks painted a very different picture. From the start, Daniel and Barbara insisted they were nothing more than concerned friends of Gene Hackman, but inconsistencies in their statements raised serious doubts. Their accounts of the last time they saw Hackman kept changing. First, they claimed they visited him in the evening. Later, they said it was early the next morning. Surveillance footage from the area contradicted both versions. The police also found their behavior suspicious. Just weeks before Hackman's tragic death, Daniel had suddenly taken a deep interest in Hackman's will. A lawyer even testified that Daniel had asked about Hackman's legal affairs, something he had never done before. What truly alarmed investigators was their delay in reporting Hackman's death. They were present at his house that night, yet they did not call the police immediately. This raised a chilling question. What exactly were they doing during that time? When confronted about these inconsistencies, the Lenihans either dodged questions, changed the subject, or became visibly irritated. It became clear to detectives they were hiding something. The biggest breakthrough came from the phone records. Hackman had received a call from an unknown number just before his death. When traced, it turned out to be a prepaid phone registered to none other than Daniel Lenihan. Meanwhile, Hackman's wife, Betsy Arakawa, had sent a chilling text message to a friend that night at 10:47 p.m. "I think something is wrong." Location data showed that Daniel had been near Hackman's house at a time he claimed he was elsewhere. These clues pointed to a terrifying scenario. Did Daniel and Barbara go to Hackman's house that night? And if so, what really happened inside? As the investigation continued, a financial trail of irregularities emerged. Just a week before his death, a large sum of money had been transferred from Hackman's account to another account linked to a small Santa Fe company. A closer look revealed that Daniel Lenihan was the actual owner of this company. To make matters worse, an unfinished legal document was found on Betsy Arakawa's computer. It appeared to be a modified version of Hackman's will, one that listed Daniel and Barbara Lenihan as heirs to a fortune worth millions. However, this version of the will was incomplete and unsigned. If the original will remained valid, the Lenihans would inherit nothing. Could this be the reason they had to act before Hackman made any final decisions? As investigators dug deeper into Daniel and Barbara's lives, their financial struggles became clear. Drowning in debt from a failed real estate investment, Daniel had asked Hackman for a loan, but Hackman refused. An email from Barbara mentioned the need to secure financial resources if Hackman could no longer manage his affairs. Had they planned to manipulate him? Betsy, Hackman's wife, handled most of his finances and had grown suspicious. A friend recalled her saying she was worried they were trying to take advantage of Gene. If she had intended to change the will, she never got the chance. Her final message, "I think something is wrong," now seemed even more chilling. At first, investigators focused on Daniel and Barbara, but Hackman's financial records revealed something bigger. In the 6 months before his death, he transferred large sums of money to unknown accounts, some linked to a high-profile law firm in New Mexico. Police found 17 calls between Hackman and an unregistered number in the 2 weeks before his death. Betsy also called this number on the final night, but what was said remains a mystery. Meanwhile, some of Hackman's legal documents vanished from his lawyer's office. A suspicious real estate contract with a businessman raised further questions. An unsent letter suggested Hackman was being pressured to change his will. What was really going on? Was Hackman trying to warn someone before it was too late? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And for more such amazing videos, please do subscribe to our channel.